Patrick Dumont said something silly again. He said something very silly. It feels like the Mavericks fans, like anytime you might forget about it, you wake up some morning and like something else is on your mind for the first time in a month. There's something else. There's something else that just gets your attention and makes you remember that trade. And Dumont did that on Thursday. He said, after the trade deadline last year, we actually had the best record in basketball, which was a big accomplishment, and we got to the championship games. And we didn't win, so we had to decide, how do we get better? And he says, so we looked at our trajectory during the season and realized that we did not get better, but the teams that we competed against did get better. So this was a decision about the future. If you look at our roster today and who we have, we feel like we position ourselves to be incredibly competitive against the best teams in the NBA. Tom, I thought Nico Harrison said the trade was about the next 2, 3, 4 years and maximizing their championship window, not about the future. So what's going on here? What's going on?
First of all, championship games? What?
Yeah. What?
Like big red flag. Big red flag calling it the championship games.
This is like when he talked about players with high work ethic and he didn't mention Dirk, but he did mention Shaquille O'Neal.
Maybe stop talking about basketball. Maybe.
Yes, just stop.
Maybe. I'm surprised he didn't call it, hey, we played good with that sports ball, with the round orange thing, throwing it in the orange circle. Like, that was championship games, just was like, just stop talking. And he kept going and talking about how we built this team for the future. We made the trade for the future. When you traded away a 25-year-old for a 32-year-old, what are you talking about? And it's contradicting, like you said, to what Nico Harrison is talking about. The talking points continue to change. And usually, you know what that means? Is you're lying. There's something that you're not telling us. There's the reason why the pretext of the trade continues to change. First, it was defense. Then it's winning now. And then it's about work ethic and all this. The word that stood out to me, he said it a few times in that interview. There was a 9-minute clip that was shared that it was very wide-ranging about this Mavs trade and the Mavs situation. There was a couple references to character. The word character, that they want high character guys, and that Dirk Nowitzki is a high character guy, and what we're about as an organization is a high character guy. Keep saying this. What is he referring to? Is he referring to like hookah and drinking beers after a game? Or is there something else that Patrick Dumont can't say publicly, but he has to reference this consistently? Because none of the other explanations make any sense. None of them do. And it's just stop talking. Like, stop. 9 minutes of explaining the Luka trade that continues to dig himself further and further into a hole. First, it's long-term. Then it's a short-term thing. And he's now saying, like, Dirk Nowitzki, my bad, I know you went to go to the Lakers game to support Luka Doncic, but you're one of us still. There's much more that we can learn from his commitment to the city of Dallas and his work ethic. I feel like he's doing a makeup call here for what you referenced earlier.
I think that's all it is. But honestly, what I really just think it is deep down inside, he knows they screwed up. I think he knows they screwed up. And this is just coming up with excuses, trying to rationalize what you did. And, I just feel bad. I feel bad for Mavericks fans more than anything else. I just feel bad for Dallas Mavericks fans. I'm very sad for them. They have such a passionate fan base. I've been there for playoff games. I've been to a lot of different arenas for playoff games. Mavericks fans are some of the loudest, some of the most passionate that I've felt. The way the fans are through the concourse, the way they chant and the emotion. Like, you can just feel how much that fan base loves basketball. And Texas is a football state, a high school football state, a college football state, and an NFL football state. And yet the Mavericks fans, that passion is there for the sport of basketball. And then this happens where it just reverses all of that. And some of the Mavericks fans in my life are like, I don't really want to root for the team anymore. I don't feel like I care as much anymore. And that's just like you talk all the time about, like, which fan base is like does it suck to be? Like the Bulls stuck in the middle, the Sixers, just completely drained, all these injuries and feeling like there's no hope and feeling like the era is over and you're starting the process again. But the Mavericks are very different in that, like, it's like you just pulled out everything you cared about, everything.
Yeah,
from the last 20 years
NBA,
with Dirk and then Luka. It's just gone.
Yeah, and the NBA, you can root for the individual a lot easier than it is in other sports. And so I think a lot of Mavs fans are probably looking at the Lakers right now, and as heretical as it sounds, it seems like heresy to say that like Mavs fans are now Lakers fans because they're backing their guy Luka. But that is much easier to do in the NBA when there's national TV games, when one player can really draw you in ways that, like, I don't think I'm rooting for the Dodgers because Mookie Betts went to the Dodgers. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm going to stick by my Red Sox in that same scenario where it's like, I can't believe we lost Mookie Betts. I'm not going to go root for the Dodgers in the same way. I think basketball is different. And the thing is, like, there was a quote that Patrick Dumont had in that 9-minute sermon there that I think should have gotten a pull quote, should have gone viral, is that he denied the whole conspiracy theory about the Vegas move. He said, the idea of moving to Vegas makes no sense to me. Completely opposite. No, the team is never moving to Las Vegas. We bought the Dallas Mavericks. It's going to stay the Dallas Mavericks. What's interesting about that quote is I kind of feel like Mavs fans are like, damn. Like, I'm kind of bummed now. Like, the Mavs fans have been so beaten down and it's been so downtrodden as a Mavs fan. I kind of think they were hoping that maybe the Mavs would move with Patrick Dumont and the Adelson family, that they would go to Vegas so that they could now get a new franchise in Dallas in the same way that Seattle is now getting a new franchise after they got gutted and moved to Oklahoma City. And I kind of feel like him saying we're not moving to Vegas it's gotten so bad that I think some Mavs fans are secretly hoping that they would go to Vegas so they could get a new ownership in place.
Yeah, just forget about basketball for 15, 20 years. And then when the new franchise comes, there you go, new owners. Well, I do think there are certain Mavericks fans that would want that. I don't think the team's going to move, for what it's worth. But I buy that they're not going to move. I think you're just going to have a new franchise in Vegas, a new franchise in Seattle, and that's going to be that. It's just basketball will never be the same in Dallas, at least for another generation. It won't be the same. And that's what's a bummer, man, because it's going to take a generation for them to turn this around when you have old AD who very well could get traded this offseason. And you definitely won't get back the return that you should have gotten for Luka, and Kyrie out until next season. Like, it's going to be a disaster for Dallas. It really is. I feel bad for them.